Tomorrow we will celebrate the 29th Republic Day. On this joyous occasion, it's my pleasure and privilege to greet all of you, my fellow citizens at home and abroad, and convey to you my good wishes. A very eventful year has just passed. The common man has reaffirmed his belief in democratic values and restored our distinction as the largest living democracy in the world. On this occasion, each one of us has to ask ourselves in all humility whether we have followed the inspiring examples set by the leaders of this ancient land. Have we comprehended the new national ethos and adequately responded to it? In this context, it's disappointing that the professional classes as well as business and industry have not shown sufficient evidence of their being prepared to accept their share of national responsibility. The future is unfolding itself. What are our immediate preoccupations and aspirations for the future? The coming elections to state assemblies afford an occasion for all political parties to prove their dedication to democracy and cleanliness in public life. What is important is not the result, but how it is achieved. The campaign must be conducted with dignity, only on the basis of clear-cut programs and policies. Once again, our voters will have the option of choosing not their masters, but their servants. We must, as in the past, prove ourselves a mature people, pledged to the process of democracy and the democratic way of life. Our people should be enabled to exercise their franchise without let or hindrance. My government will guarantee this, the basic birthright of every eligible voter. Let the free will of the people prevail, and all will be well, whatever the result. That's my firm belief. Many problems loom large on the horizon. We must face them with courage and self-confidence. Some frustrated and desperate elements in our society today are determined to scuttle the principles of our democratic way of life and destroy the very fabric of our secular society. While every one of us is entitled to freedom of expression in appropriate forums, no one should be permitted to drag each and every issue to the streets, excite dormant passions, advocate disrespect for law and order, and incite violence. Such a policy of unwarranted confrontation backed by provocative action on the slightest pretext is a challenge we as citizens of a free country need to face with determination. Let not a few misguided and disgruntled sections of society imagine that they can hold the rest of us law-abiding citizens to ransom. Swift and stern action will be taken against anyone acting in a manner prejudicial to the national interests. Our founding fathers, among whom were the great Mahatma, the far-sighted Panditji, and the indomitable Sardar, won us political freedom and laid solid foundations for our economic advancement. Are we to allow all this to be nullified by the unconscionable behavior of an irresponsible few? Freedom may be in peril. Let us defend it with all the might at our disposal. The post-emergency climate has been congenial for reconciling fundamental freedoms and open society with egalitarianism and social justice. This is the first Republic Day with which my 10-month-old government is associated. Let's not judge them hastily. Let us rather take note of what has been achieved. It has restored to public life the essential attributes of a mature democracy. On the economic front, my government has sought to concretize the Gandhian concept of employment-oriented rural development and to bridge socio-economic disparity between the urban and the rural areas. For the first time since independence, our political life is not dominated by one monolithic political party. Today, men of good conscience but with varying shades of political opinion, are working together for the good of the nation. This is in itself a great achievement. Let's not isolate and exaggerate honest differences of opinion and unwittingly perhaps undermine the principle of collective responsibility on which good government is based. For once in our history, we stand united as a nation. India is one country and Indians are one people. Let no one underestimate our strength and take us for granted. Our continued progress on the agricultural front and our determination to reach the benefits of planned development to the rural areas and to the economically weaker sections of society will better the quality of life of millions of our countrymen. This requires resolute political will and determined administrative action. To our sound and broad-based scientific and technological achievements, which have been acknowledged all the world over, we have handsomely coupled research and development to take care of the future. Today we are recognized as one of the 10 most industrially advanced nations of the world. India's very significant manpower contribution to the United Nations pool of technical and administrative talent and experience is matched only by our bilateral technical assistance programs to our friends in Africa, Southeast and West Asia. While we may take justifiable pride in these achievements, we must guard against complacency in thought and action. On the other hand, we must forge ahead with hard, dedicated work and the determination to succeed, not only as individuals but as a nation. Our administration, relieved of its recent traumatic experience, is fortunate to have firm, dynamic political leadership. The younger generation who join the various services which compose the broad spectrum of the administration are idealistic, motivated, and have the capacity for hard work. Let us forge out of these qualities a result-oriented instrument to implement our plans for the future and to build the India of our dreams. Those in the administration who act without fear or favor in the national interests will have nothing to fear. Let's not forget that in this country, where the majority live below the poverty line, even the lowest paid industrial worker, either in the public or private sector, or a government servant, is a privileged citizen. Is it not morally wrong to confer on these relatively privileged classes additional benefits merely because they are organized and vociferous? Can we ignore the larger majority because they are unorganized and inarticulate? The inconvenience resulting from shortages and price increase must, in all fairness, be shared by all. If this is to be done, there is no escape from a start being made in limiting profits, eliminating all forms of conspicuous consumption, and dealing sternly with those who commit economic and social crimes. We have to develop a new administrative culture and imbue the administration with discipline and dedication and make it responsive to the people's problems and aspirations. Only then will the benefits of planned development percolate to the grassroots of our society. On an occasion like this, one is struck by the cohesive unity of our country in spite of several apparent diversities. Not even during the times of Ashoka nor Akbar was India politically one. The Britishers, with their might and skill, molded us into one large political entity. Europe consists of several nations. Can attempts now to bring them together and make one Europe succeed? Our country, which is a subcontinent, should not be allowed to break up on any issue, much less on inconsequential and sentimental issues. History has cast upon us the onerous responsibility of maintaining and strengthening the unity and vitality of our great nation. I am convinced that we can achieve this through mutual goodwill and understanding. Let us therefore resolve that no considerations, no issues, and no forces will be allowed to impair our basic unity and richness of culture and heritage. We are pledged to the concept of federalism. During the recent conference of governors, I was happy to see that there was great measure of harmony between the central government and the state governments run by different political parties. Let's not forget that some of our leaders in the states are men of distinction with a long record of service to the country. If our political parties realize that despite their differences, they can work together for a common good to the people and evolve an agreement on major issues, problems of socio-economic development within a democratic framework would become less difficult. All our political parties are committed to the speedy elimination of poverty, social injustice and exploitation. Harijans, the minorities and economically vulnerable sections of society must be encouraged to increasingly participate in the mainstream of national life. Since the launching of our first 5-year plan, our agricultural production, industrial production and exports have increased by about 200%, 400% and 800% respectively. This is no doubt an impressive achievement, but the gains of development are nullified by the explosive growth of population. This vital national problem brooks no delay. It is the duty of all political parties to concertedly endeavour to prevent this national catastrophe. On this occasion, I cannot but express the nation's gratitude to Sri Jayaprakash Narayan, who is one of the few living symbols of the Gandhian era. Let's all pray for his good health and long life to guide us in the years to come. Today we salute our defence services, who stand guard on our borders and guarantee our territorial integrity. Their courage and valour in the face of several hardships deserve our admiration and gratitude. Friends, have an abiding faith in the great future that awaits India. On this historic day, let's all rededicate ourselves to the formidable task which faces the country and enter confidently into an era of hope, freedom and achievement. Jai Hind.